The other day I was doing some research on some of the most recognizable or the best piano intros or riffs of all time, and I came across one that I almost wrote off because I was like, that's just a fun old whatever. And then I listened to the song a little more in depth and I went, wow, this is unironically really good. And I'm talking about the Cheers theme song. Check this out. First of all, wait. Before we even get into the song, talk about an intro, right? I mean, what else does it need? I mean, instantly iconic. One of the most memorable piano riffs, if you want to call it that, literally of all time. So I guess I succeeded in my mission of trying to find iconic riffs, even though this one is 2 bars long. That's all it is. I think it literally starts on that one note. Oh no, there's the 5th. We also have the F in there. And then we drop it an octave. We don't change a thing. We have this written out as B flat and then F over B flat. What do I think this is really doing? I think it's just 1, 5, 1. Except instead of going to the actual 5, we're just keeping the root. We're just keeping this as we introduce the song. And it's so fitting too, because as we actually get into the verse, you'll see what we do harmonically for at least the first little bit.
Making your way in the world today takes everything you've got. Taking a break from all your work.
Take a note
sure would help a lot.
That whole intro section. Did you listen to what was actually going on? Listen again.
Making your way in the world today takes everything you've got.
What are we doing? Listen to that. This is so unbelievably simple. 1, 5. 1, 5. 1, 5. Now, already you may be thinking to yourself, why do you think this is unironically really good? There's not much to it. Well, partially because that's kind of the point. The whole idea of the Cheers theme was to write a song that was, why would someone want to go to Cheers? What's the draw to this place? That's what they were looking for. In fact, the original lyrics that they were going to go with talked about the Red Sox and talked about, some stuff that was a little more like, maybe less applicable to just your average person, where I think they wanted to say, hey, let's just say some more generic things that everyone can relate to, and then we'll bring it home and say, wouldn't it be great to go somewhere where everyone knows your name? Now, we're actually going to start to get, I think, some really great, really simple, but really great harmonic content. Check it out.
Wouldn't you like to get away?
Okay. These are small things, you guys. It's not that it's ultra complex. Okay, but this song was voted multiple times, I think by multiple different sources, as the greatest television theme of all time. Why is that? Right? It's clearly like we clearly don't need incredibly complex harmony to do it. There's something about the simplicity of this song by Gary Portnoy and Judy Hart-Angelo that just speaks to people. I think the harmony does too, because so far we've kind of established this, right? This kind of like, okay, yeah, we're going through the motions a little bit. But notice what we're talking about during that period. Making your way through the world today takes everything you got, blah, 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 all this, right? So as we kind of establish this sort of like, oh man, life can be tough sometimes, right? That's kind of what we're talking about thus far. But then, wouldn't you like to get away? Okay? Now, you'll see right here, we have this written as A flat, because I think in the beginning, we didn't think it was A flat. We sort of jotted that down. But listening to it now, it just struck me. I'm like, oh wait, no, that's not A flat. That's even more complex than I'm giving it any credit for. Because what that actually is this chord. Now this chord, I'm going to call this a D minor 7 flat 5, sometimes called a D half diminished, over an A flat. Now let me tell you why I think it's that. Because we are going to C minor. That's our landing point at this part right here. So it makes total sense to lead into that with a 2-5. And when we use a minor 7 with a flat 5 chord as our 2, it often implies that we're going to go to a minor chord as our resolution. Here's why. Because if we hang on to that A flat, which is the alteration Normally a 2 chord would just be a minor 7th chord like that. But this has a darker quality to it. We're now dealing with a minor third in a place where we normally would have expected a major third. So it sounds a little bit darker for that reason. Also, when we go to the 5 chord of G7, we can keep that A flat. It becomes the flat 9, and that flat 9 really wants to pull to a minor chord. It sounds maybe a little bit strange, or maybe not strange, but definitely unexpected, which could be a useful tool. But in this case, I'm really thinking that this is a D minor 7 flat 5 chord over A flat, because it functions like a 2 going to the 5, going to the 1, 2, 5, 1. I just think that's such a slick little move there. And our bass line is so nice there because we've been going back and forth, right? And then we land on F, and then we climb up. Such a nice little 2-5 there, and the perfect transition to get us back into the next verse. In the show, obviously, it goes right to the chorus, but this is the extended version.
Wouldn't
so
you like to get away?
We get another verse here. So same exact thing. 1, 5. We're just gonna go back and forth.
Little angel hung the cat up by its tail.
Right?
And your third fiance didn't show.
Super dark. I just played that totally wrong. But now we're going to get into the chorus, and the chorus has one of my favorite harmonic motions ever, and I think just such a staple set of chord changes, and it's probably one of the reasons it's considered the greatest TV theme of all time. Let's get into it. Here we go.
Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name. And they're always glad you came. You wanna be where you can see our troubles are all the same. You wanna be where everybody knows your name.
Then throw the intro back in there. As simple as it is just so brilliantly written. Okay, so let's break down what's actually going on in that chorus. Right, so right there we have, we start on B flat. That's our home base for this whole thing, obviously. We're gonna take our root chord, we're gonna drop it a whole step. And we're gonna get this A flat to E flat, okay? Now, that's such an interesting motion because in the key of B flat, A flat shouldn't exist, right? It's not a chord that exists within the diatonic triads of B flat. There's no A flat in there at all, right? So we're already changing, you might call this modal interchange, right? We're borrowing a chord from kind of another key to get us to the 4, right? Because E flat is absolutely in the key of B flat. It's the 4 chord. And then we just get 5, only we climb it up to get back to the 1. Modal interchange, then there's our 4 chord, 5, and then we go somewhere else. But I just think that that is so cool. So I love that that melody note is the major 7th of A flat. Makes that A flat even more satisfying, right? Now we get something is just so beautiful about the simplicity of this. In that last part of the chorus, we go to our minor 3rd chord, right? It's D minor. Minor 3rd, 4. Minor 3rd, 4. Minor 3rd. This whole time, we've got this like somewhat melancholy place that we go to, but then we get a hint of light. Where are we going now? Something's happening. Things are looking up, right? Back to the sadness, but things are looking up. Maybe not. Well, actually, maybe. And then finally, we get our bright resolution of the 5-1. Now the light's coming out, and we get our happy resolution, complete with piano riff. Something, like there's not a lot of complex harmony going on here, but it is so perfectly assigned to every part of the song that it needs to correlate with. And the melody is so well written that it's easy to remember, super catchy, and it's got that piano riff that everybody remembers. It's one of the most iconic little piano doodles of all time. And you wind up with a song that, of course, it gets voted the best TV opening theme of all time. Like, yes, obviously. I mean, it's just so well written, and it's unironically really good. Like I said, I almost wrote this one off when I was thinking about, oh, what are the biggest, most famous, well-known piano intros of all time, and I thought of this one, but then I was like, yeah, but the song is whatever. No, it's not. It's so good. Also, the vocal harmonies on the chorus are great, and they're all Gary Portnoy. So yeah, these vocals are 6 layers of Gary Portnoy just singing multi-track like Jacob Collier style, only I guess with like 40 fewer layers or something.
You wanna go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came.
You must be doing something like that. Harmony there is just like so satisfying. You know what I mean? It's like very powerful, like strong harmonic choices. There's not too much going on that starts to create any ambiguity at all. It's just like, nope, these are the chords. Loud and proud. B flat major, A flat major 7, E flat major. Strong vocal harmonies on just the chord tones, really. It's hard to get more powerful than that.
You wanna be where you can see
The background odds, yeah.
You wanna be where everybody knows your name.
Yeah. Man, you want to talk about how to make a theme? It's perfect for a sitcom, for a TV show, especially like in the 80s, because like if you can create something that is as easy to identify as that. I mean, talk about like making somebody's ears perk up and be like, oh, the show is on. It's the ultimate, like, I don't know, what's another example of that? Notice any time you open an app like Netflix or ESPN or something, what do you hear? I mean, but what is that? That is Netflix going, hey, even if you're not looking at our logo, you know it's Netflix. That's all you gotta hear. Maybe not even that. Most people might just hear that and immediately identify it. Those shows that they always used to do where it was like, oh, can you identify a song within 1 second? I was never impressed by those shows because I was like, if you know the song, that's not hard at all. But apparently it was good enough to make an entire game show out of it. I don't know. The Cheers theme is unironically really good. There's really nothing else to say besides that. It is a brilliantly written composition. Yes, the harmony's incredibly simple, but that's kind of the point. And it's written so well, it's extremely satisfying to the ear. The melody's fantastic. The performance is fantastic. The vocal harmonies are exquisite. It's just a perfect theme, And yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of other contenders for greatest TV theme of all time. But I understand why this one has been voted top of the list multiple times. But I want to know your favorite TV theme. Let me know in the comments below. Maybe we'll cover it in a future video. That's going to be all for me today. Thank you so much for tuning into the month of music. We will see you back here tomorrow.